Here we are then for round number 2 at Redlodge, 25th of April in the fine spring summer weather. And our venue for this round is the brilliant Redlodge Circuit. We are just over the Cambridgeshire Suffolk border, not too far from Mildenhall and the famous American Air Base. 1200 metre circuit, 11 turns, quite a technical track and very flat as well, not much elevation, so it's flat and very twisty in places. We have some perfect spring weather here, sunny forecast throughout the day, no rain forecast in the meteorological forecast, about 14 degrees and a light breeze. You would say this is pretty much perfect conditions for racing. In association with Moto, it's the Minibike 140 Group A about to get underway. For their first motor, they'll have a look at how they line up in just a few moments' time. So as the line up on the grid, it's Will Lathrop, your pole position with a 47.1 from Rhys Stevenson in second place, Richard Holmes-Williams in third, Luke Hedger fourth, Ben and Mick Lord lining up fifth and sixth position. Seventh is Ryan Tyers from Chase Collymore, Ryan Clark and Michael Med running out the top 10. Chloe Jones in 11th place from Carl Sanders. 13th for James Herring, Julian Gromit in 14th, Dan Merrin and Ross Richards rounding out the 16th position. Joe Woodward in 17th from Gaz Pearson in 18th place. 19th for Oliver Linsdell, Nick Shaw 20th, Nathan Smith and Dan Pearson 21st and 22nd, Connor Wyatt and Casey Hanby in 24th position. Michael Ford in 25th and the unidentified rider rounding out the field in this 26 rider grid. So yet again another big group of riders here. Round number 2 of the Rich Energy British Minibikes Championship, and we are here at the Redlodge Circuit down here in Suffolk in the UK. Just going, of course, towards East Anglia down by here. See quite a few very competitive karting circuits in the east of England, of course, and Redlodge no exception. This track has been about for around 27 years, really has developed into a great karting track here. This is more of a technical circuit, you would say, as is seen on many occasions this morning already. We've seen some very fast, furious opening laps as the riders jostle for position on that technical part of the track going down to 180, the slowest corner on the track. A shout out for Luke Hutchison on social media for Casey Hanby, who's lining up in this race just on the edge of the top 10. So we've got some pretty decent calibre of riders about to get underway. Look out for Rhys Stevenson there, number 1, 2, 3 in second, one of the rising stars in British Minibikes last season and really establishing himself as a name to look out for here. Up there at the front of the grid, of course, the riders get the visors down, green flag goes up and we're about to get underway. And off we go. So Minibikes 140 Group A charging into the first corner and Rhys Stevenson getting a jump there on Will Lathrop into the first corner around the outside. Rider in trouble further back. I think it's Chloe Jones hitting trouble on the grid. She's got away, but right at the back of the field, the rest of the riders charging through into 180 for the first time. So Rhys Stevenson on an early leader. Looks like Will Lathrop may have dropped to third from Richard Holmes-Williams. Yes, indeed, that's correct. Holmes-Williams now up to second place. They make their way down towards the S's for the first time. Rest of the field go charging through. So with the exception of, I think, Chloe Jones, who lost the bike at the start, everyone else has got away safely. I think Chloe may well be out of the race, unfortunately. The race goes on, though. Lathrop Stevenson leads, I should say, of course. Richard Holmes-Williams in second place, Lathrop third. Ben Lord up to fourth from Luke Hedger and Mick Ryan Tyres, Ryan Clark, Michael Med, and Chase Collymore rounding up the top 10 at the end of this very competitive first lap. They charged down the technical opening part of the lap down to 180. The leaders already making their way down towards the straight run. It looks like, yes, Holmes-Williams has taken the lead. 1-2-6, Richard Holmes-Williams, your new race leader. And Reece Stevenson right on his tail though in second place. They make their way out of the S's, down Simpson Straight once again. And this is important now for Holmes-Williams, trying to break away from Stevenson. Over the line the two leaders go. Now this could be important here because Richard Holmes-Williams had a good opening lap. He set the fastest lap of the race now, 47.6. What Reece Stevenson needs to do here is just to watch the lines, try and keep up with Holmes-Williams. Perhaps see where he's lost a bit of time to try and keep up with that race leader. Ben Lord a bit further behind in third on number 48. Then it's Luke Hedger, Ryan Tyres and Mick Lord. And Stevenson fighting back on the inside into the S's. No, it didn't quite come off there. Has to stay in second position. Down the S's they go. Stevenson goes wide on the exit. He's going for the exit speed here. Down they go. He's got a good exit out to the corner and takes the lead again. Oh, he's got a hole into the inside. No, Holmes-Williams had the sweep into the outside going into Paddock Bend and holds on to the lead. Ben Lord, Luke Hedger, Ryan Tyres and Mick Lord just a bit further behind this battle for the lead as Holmes-Williams guards the inside line. There we see Stevenson through into the lead through Senna. So great move there from Reece Stevenson. Back into the lead. Let's see if Richard Holmes-Williams can fight back. Now, of course, the riders we're looking at here, headed now, I think, by the 48. Yes, indeed, it is. So 48 of Ben Lord, currently sitting in third place here. They'll be hoping that Stevenson and Holmes-Williams start battling a bit more for that lead because they could get involved in this one. Ryan Tyres going for the pass. Lord holds on to the position. So possibly you would maybe say these guys battling for fourth place. As we look at Tyres again, these guys may want to work together here and try and catch up with the two leaders. However, I think that Luke Hedger has other ideas on the number 12 because he's starting to do battle with Ryan Tyres. Oh, great move down the inside there. Can he make it stick? What a move there from Luke Hedger on the number 12 going down into the Warren. Went screaming round the outside into 180, slammed down the inside of Ryan Tyres and has made the move stick. He's now clear in fourth place. That was quite an aggressive pass there, real block pass on Ryan Tyres, who loses a bit of time. Now he's trying to fight back as a rider going down. This is just on the Warren, I think, in the midfield. Try and pick up that number, but the rider evidently okay, that's the important thing. Ben Lord in third then, Luke Hedger fourth. That's the number 17 that's gone down further down the field. That was Ross Richards, who was in 17th place. And Richards appears to be okay, but pushing the bike away, looks like he's out of the race. What happened on the Warren, the corner we're looking at now, that off-camber left-hander. Meanwhile, the battle going on for third, Ben Lord and Luke Hedger, number 12, looks threatening down the inside. No, he can't get through at the moment. He's going to try and get him on the exit, though. Here we go. Squares the turn off, gets the exit speed. Has he done enough to get past Lord? Oh, he has a look down the inside. Can't quite make the move stick, though. Ben Lord holds on to third place. It's still Reece Stevenson leading the way, just ahead of Richard Holmes-Williams, but the closest battle at the moment is for third place. As Tyres has a look around the outside, ride it down on that first corner, possibly. Wave yellow's out, but yes, it's one of the Lords that's gone down. I think it might be Mick Lord that went off the machine on the first corner. Yes, it is, because he's not in that battle anymore. So Mick Lord dropping out of contention of this battle for the lead. Third place precisely, of course, but I have to say here, Ben Lord doing a great job of holding on to the position so far. This is where Hedger's quick, though. Down the hill, he gets a good exit speed, but Ryan Tyres has been watching. And he's having a look as well. We'll perhaps have a look at them next time round when they leave the S's corner at the top of the circuit. The exit is very important there, both on two wheels and on four. The exit speed more critical than the entry. So that could be a very important corner very shortly. There's 180 As Ryan Tyres gets out of that slow corner very well indeed, and he's going to try and squeeze out Hedger. Yes, he makes it work. Can he hold on? So look over the back and manages to block Hedger. There's the two race leaders. You can see third, fourth and fifth very close indeed as Tyres squares the turn again. Here we see that move. Fantastic footage from the drone camera, just showing you how the exit speed is very important. That allows Tyres to close up on Lord. Makes the move into the final corner now. He's lined himself up nicely for the first corner. But Ben Lord stays strong. No, he doesn't quite. Oh, was tripping over the back wheel. A hefty tumble there for Luke Hedger. And that will have knocked the wind out of him there. He tripped over the back wheel, I think, of Ben Lord. Well, look at that again as we go into the first corner. As Hedger picks up the machine. That's a shame for him, he's running so well. We saw a three-way battle into the first corner, and here they come again. So there's Tyres down the inside. Hedger tries to follow, but there we see Lord shutting the door on him. And Hedger really was committed for that pass, had nowhere to go, tumbles over the back wheel and is out of the race. Hedger appears to be okay, but as we say, there he is, just kicking the machine back into life, but out of contention at the moment. Further down we have the number 46 of Joe Woodward. Just on the edge of the top 10 at the moment. Rhys Stevenson, still your race leader. As we wait for the checkered flag, Stevenson has had a very good race so far. Looks like he's going to hold on as they make their way down towards the final few corners. Our midfield runners making their way through. Just waiting now for Stevenson, who should be coming down towards the final corner very shortly. The rest of the midfield runners making their way through as we wait for our race leader. Number 1, 2, 3, Rhys Stevenson. Falls the gap, there he is, so into the final corner he goes. 1, 2, 3, Rhys Stevenson looks like he's just about done enough. He's going to be close to the line, but Stevenson holds on. Holmes Williams with a last lap charge has to settle for second place though. Here comes that close battle for third, and it looks like Ryan Tyres is going to hold on. There goes the number 12 Luke Hedger. He finishes a lap down, recovers to 19th place. Ben Lord in fourth, Michael Med in fifth position on the treble 7, Chase Collymore in sixth, just ahead of Ryan Clark. And running up the top 10, it's going to be Carl Sanders, Dan Pearson and James Herring. So some brilliant action there in the 140 Group A. Got a bit close at times, but fantastic action there, as you always expect from that 140 class. It does tend to be very close and competitive. So we stay with the Saimoto Minibikes and we move on to Group A for the 140 class. Rhys Stevenson on pole position from Richard Holmes Williams, Ryan Tyres in third, Ben Lord, Michael Med and Chase Collymore in sixth position, Ryan Clark in seventh, Carl Sanders eighth, Dan Pearson and James Herring rounding out the top 10. Joe Woodward 11th from Julian Gromit. Dan Merrin 13th from Michael Ford, Oliver Linsdale in 15th, Nick Shaw in 16th position from Nathan Smith and Gaz Pearson in 18th. 19th for Luke Hedger, Casey Hanby 20th position, Mick Lord and Connor Watt 21st and 22nd. Ross Richards 23rd, Will Lathrop in 24th place. Chloe Jones with no time at the back of the field, so 25 rider grid. So Rhys Stevenson should be in this race, but we'll wait and see. I think he did cross the line actually to go onto the sighting lap. Just a shout out for Dominic Evola on the YouTube channel from Jesse Blah. Look out for Dominic later on. Don't forget, if your rider's taking part, give them a shout out. We'll pick that up for you, particularly on the YouTube channel. So the reason I mentioned Rhys Stevenson there on the 1, 2, 3, he earlier on today, of course, one of the earlier races, took a hefty tumble battling with Peter Hickman. Had to go to the medical van for some treatment. It was okay. It was quite a frightening crash to look at, but we saw him walking away. He went back to the medical van for some treatment. I think he really took a slide down the circuit, so needed treatment from the medics, but appears to be okay. So certainly nothing serious, and good to see that the 1-2-3 of Reece Stevenson, after that frightening crash earlier on, is able to take the start. Shout out as well from Joseph Howells to Chloe Jones, who lines up at the back of the field. There she is. She's had a difficult day so far, but looking to put that right as the gate drops for Minibike 140 Group A with Simoto, and away they go. One rider left behind at the start, but everyone else charging through, and Reece Stevenson gets away at the front with the 1-2-6 of Richard Holmes Williams close behind as they charge through into Senna for the first time. Will they get through safely? Yes, they do. So I think that was Will Lathrop who got left behind at the start, but seems to have got the bike started. Just catching on to the back of the field. So Stevenson, the race leader, looking to put that incident behind him earlier on. And a good clean start through the S's for the first time. There he is, 1-2-3 your leader. 1-2-6, Richard Holmes Williams in second. Ben Lord and Ryan Tyers close behind. So all closely poised as they make their way over the line to complete the first lap. So it's Stevenson that leads on the track. Holmes Williams showing his leader on the timing, so I'm sure they'll pick up the race leader shortly. Ben Lord, Ryan Tyers, Chase Collymore, all well placed, and a good battle a bit further back there. Dan Pearson and Carl Sanders battling for position as Richard Holmes Williams starts to close up. Chloe Jones getting all the support on social media out here. Stephen Spick getting in touch with us as well. Say go, Chloe. Ryan Tyers looks like he's got past the 48 of Ben Lord. Meanwhile, the two leaders battling away at the front. Lord down the inside, down the straight. Another great move there, and retakes the position. The two leaders make their way through. Chase Collymore just behind that group. And here we see first, second, third and fourth all incredibly close and taking the lead. As they make their way down to 180 is Richard Holmes Williams. There he is, 1-2-6, your new race leader. Stevenson down to second place on the 1-2-3. Can he fight back? Those two with a small cushion, about 1.5 seconds, but look out for the number 55 in third place, Ryan Tyers. Looking to keep Ben Lord behind him now and try and close up on the two leaders. And certainly Tyers, if Stevenson starts fighting back and these two start trading paint for first position, then you would say that Tyers and Lord could get involved in this battle for the lead. So still a way to go in this one. There goes Tyers, closely followed by Lord. The top four breaking away now from the rest of the field. Chase Collymore a bit further behind. Holmes Williams still your leader. There he is, the 1-2-6 through Senna. Down to 180, this slow, technical part of the track. Very tight. Stevenson hanging on in there in second place. Now the track opens up, it gets quicker. Through the left-hander and the Warren. Now down the straight run into Esses as Stevenson looks down the inside. Not close enough to go for the pass though. Tyers still watching in third. Through the S's we go. A little bit ragged from Holmes Williams through the S's. Doesn't really affect his time though. And Holmes Williams down to Paddock Bend. There's Tyers pulling away now from Ben Lord. And Stevenson down the inside of Holmes Williams. Makes the move stick through French corner. Nice move there. And makes it stick. So Stevenson back in the lead, but Holmes Williams certainly not giving this one up. Ryan Tyers and Ben Lord a bit further behind. And a shout out to the number 295 in this race, the machine of James Herring in 11th place. Tamsin Island getting in touch, let's go daddy, and that's from Joshua and Caden. So the 295 of James Herring currently in 11th place, getting some support from back home from Joshua and Caden. The race here goes on though, and still too close to call between Richard Holmes Williams and Reece Stevenson, making their way down to the final corner. There's the rest of the top 10 screaming through as the leaders go over the line. And there's a fantastic aerial shot of the Redlodge Circuit. There's the main artery road just behind there at the top of your screen, the A11. See how well located this circuit is, it has to be said. It's very close, of course, to the main road, and that's not too far from the M11. All the routes down to London and the main M1 motorway is not too far away. Fairly central location, you would say. So the race goes on. Richard Holmes Williams And Ray Stevenson all very close. Rest of the top 10 screaming through. Chase Collymore looking at the 62. Carl Sanders, 286 there. Joe Woodward also well placed. Following now the 295 of James Herring. Starting to put the pressure on the rider in front. So Herring just behind Woodward. This is a battle for 9th position. Sanders through in 9th, Woodward 10th, Herring 11th. Chloe Jones, incidentally, is getting a lot of support on the YouTube, starting to move through the field. She was right at the back of the field and now up to 18th position as we cut back to our 2 leaders through the S's. And look how close this is. 0.2 of a second covering the top 2 riders with 4 laps to go. Reece Stevenson, if you're watching this early, don't forget he had a frightening crash on this very part of the circuit, but he seems to have recovered well, showing no ill effects. But look out for 3rd position, the number 55 of Ryan Tyers. Let's check the timing screen as they go through. 1.7 seconds. Ryan Tyers, fastest lap of the race, 47.064. And as the 2 leaders do battle into 180, Stevenson stays strong, pushes Holmes Williams wide. They're starting to battle for the lead. There's a slower rider in front. This is all allowing Ryan Tyers to close up. Look out for the 3rd place rider here, number 55. He is closing up on these 2 leaders. There's the 61. Casey Hanby possibly. Yeah, he dropped out of contention there. Casey Hanby dropping out of the midfield now, being lapped by the 2 leaders. Ryan Tyers needs to get through as well. 3 laps to go. Oh, but Ryan Tyers bulked by the recovering Casey Hanby momentarily. A bad part of the place, bad part of the course to encounter a back mark, you would say. And that could be just the advantage that the 2 leaders need. Stevenson holding on, Holmes Williams in 2nd, and this is where Richard Holmes Williams has looked strong on previous laps through to 180. Tries to cut back, looking out for Ryan Tyers. There he is in 3rd, so Ryan Tyers is still very much in there and closing up on the 2 leaders. Along the straight run they go. Stevenson guards the inside into Essex. There's Ryan Tyers in 3rd, closing up on the 2 leaders all the time with 2 laps to go. This could well turn into a 3-way fight for the lead, especially if the 2 leaders don't know that Ryan Tyers is there. They're so focused on one another here. This could allow Ryan Tyers to ambush them on the final lap. Here they come through Paddock Bend for the last lap. And Ryan Tyers, fastest lap of the race, 46.5. He has got the bit between his teeth here as he closes up on our 2 leaders. Stevenson first, Holmes Williams 2nd. And again, Holmes Williams tries to fight through into 180. Back marker in front. Should be able to hold the line here, and the leaders should find their way through. That's the 254 a bit further down. And they all get through cleanly. Ryan Tyers trying to find a way through, but Stevenson's got this at the moment through to S's. Oh, you waved yellows. Rider offline who's come off the bike. They'll have to hold position momentarily, but now they can race down to the final corner. 3-way scrap for the leaders. Holmes Williams has a look coming down into the final corner. Tyers in 3rd. Here they come round Paddock Bend for the final time. The checkered flag goes out, and look how close that is. Less than half a second covering the top 3. Reece Stevenson first, Richard Holmes Williams in 2nd, Ryan Tyers in 3rd. It could have gone either way. Ben Lord, a distant 4th place, 11.5 seconds down. Again, that just shows the pace those 3 leaders had to drop 4th position so much. Chase Collymore, 5th position, just ahead of Will Lathrope. Ryan Clark, Dan Pearson, Mick Lord, and Joe Woodward rounding up the top 10 just ahead of the 295 of James Herring. But what a thrilling race to the flag that was between those 3 riders as the rest of the top 15 making their way through. The rest of the riders on the lead lap. Michael Ford 12th from Dan Merrin, Olivia Linsdell, Chloe Jones in 15th, Gaz Pearson 16th, Nick Shaw. And Ross Richards, who's had a difficult day so far on the number 17, recovering through. Last rider on the lead lap in 19th position. So we leave the machines nicely warmed up. Riders on track, and it looks like the timing crew are ready to go. Green flag goes up, and the restart of the Simotos Minibike 140 gets underway. Another good start there from Dean Quincy, but the 84 getting down the inside, charging into that first corner. Round they go through French Quarter to Senna, that tight left-handed hairpin. 84, your race leader. Reese Morgan, Joshua Crew, Dean Quincy all getting away well. They make their way through 180 for the first time, through to the Warren, that left-handed off-cambered, 90-degree left-handed. Dean Quincy down the inside into the S's for the first time and takes the lead. So I don't think he was too happy to see the red flag come out, but it certainly seems to have worked in his favour. They go past the accident site there, down the back straight towards the paddock bend in the final corner. So it looks like Dean Quincy holding on to the lead on the first lap. Joshua Crew in second place will pick up 84, the unidentified name in third. Adam Jameson fourth, Paul Mitchell, Lewis Mackay, Stephen Humphries close behind as well. Good clean first lap, everyone staying out of trouble. Through to the first flying lap. Oh, it's all very close, so into 180, some bar banging there, and a rider stationary on the hairpin. That's the 735 of Lewis Mackay. Now, whether he just caught the back wheel of the slower rider and just stalled the engine, I think. He lost the engine, he's got it kick-started back into life. The race goes on. Lewis Mackay dropping from sixth place, he's back underway, although towards the back of the field. Dean Quincy continuing to lead the way. Joshua Crew not too far behind in second place, 84 in third. Adam Jameson and Paul Mitchell. So that means, of course, with Mackay dropping out of contention, Stephen Humphries will move into sixth position. Although 86 making the move, of course, the rider we're looking at now, that's Chris Impey moving into sixth place. Oh, and just behind Impey, that is Impey that's gone down actually. 86 just lost the front end. Coming out of Senna, and he's lost the engine as well. He's got to get it kick-started back into life. Finds a gear, and away he goes. So a small mistake there from Chris Impey, goes down, and that's how easily it happens. He just seemed to, the front end just got away from him on the corner. Here's the 21 now, Tommy Ullman, who will move into seventh place. That means that Stephen Humphries goes back into sixth position. Dean Quincy continues to lead here. They come into the first corner. This great battle with 3 laps to go. Joshua Crew and Adam Jameson all very close. So Dean Quincy getting to the lead early on, and now he's having to act defensively here because he's coming under a lot of pressure from Joshua Crew as they go into 180, that tight hairpin. Oh, and Crew's touched the back end. Down he goes. And very smartly finds a gap and runs to the side of the course to retrieve his bike. There we see the catch underneath the sump there. That catches the oil when the bikes go down or if they lose any fluids during the race. Doesn't seem to have lost anything onto the track, so that's good news. And of course, very good news that Joshua Crew's okay. Although I'm sure will be disappointed to be out of the race. There we see just another small error. He just touched the back wheel of Dean Quincy, misjudged the speed. And really, when that happens, nothing you can do. There's an incident on the S's as well. Rider's gone down with waved yellows. I'm not too sure who it is, but something's happened at the top of the circuit as well. So an incident-packed Sai Motos Minibike 140 Group B here. And Dean Quincy continues to lead the way as you look at another one of our midfield battles here. Well, looking towards fifth place. Stephen Humphries, fastest lap of the race last time round. He's moved up to fifth position now with, of course, Crew dropping out of contention now, catching up on the 59 of Adam Jameson as they make their way through to the top corner now into the S's. That wave yellow's gone back in, so whatever happened up there has cleared itself out. Stephen Humphries, the rider with the pink and blue Guy Martin replica helmet, the red and black leathers, 2-4-1 as they make their way to the last lap. It's getting close here at the front. Dean Quincy continues to lead the way, 84 in second. They're just going through Senna now. Jameson third, and Humphries finishing on good form here, starting to close up. There's your second place rider, Dean Quincy, continuing to lead the way. There he is through the Warren for the final time. Starting to pull away on this final lap. There goes Quincy, just out of shot, 84 second, 59 Jameson third. Humphries keeping the pressure on, close behind as well as the 668 of Paul Mitchell. Shout out to Uncle Andy, number 94 in this one as well. As Tamsin Island gets in touch on the YouTube. Dean Quincy leads them down the straight for the final time. into Paddock Bend. Round the final corner they go. Checkered flag comes out. And after such an eventful race, it's Dean Quinsey that takes the checkered flag, 84 in second. The 59 of Adam Jameson just about holding off Stephen Humphries with his fastest lap of the race. Paul Mitchell and Tommy Ullman fighting through to 6th place there on the number 21. And rest of the top 10, Ian Blatchford, MJ Cockfield, and the 107 of Kevin Clark just ahead of Alec Jones on the 32 as the midfield runners come screaming through. Here we go for our penultimate race of the day for round number 2 of the Rich Energy British Minibikes Championship here at Redlodge in Suffolk. Sponsored by Simoto, we have the 140 Group B. This is how they line up. Stephen Humphries on pole position from Julian Gromit. Unidentified rider in 3rd from Tommy Ullman. Paul Mitchell, Luke Hedger in 6th place. 7 for Ian Blatchford from Connor Watt. Lewis Mackay rounds out the top 10 from Mark James Cockfield and Elliot Hines in 12th. Chris Impey in 13th position. Kevin Clark in 14th. Rob Overend 15th place from Joshua Crew. Kai Dickinson and Alec Jones in 18th position. 19th for James Walker. Jack Wolf, Fahad Lada in 21st place. Craig Rowland and David Lindsell just a little bit further behind. Rounding up the rest of the field, Harry Clark, Rhys Morgan, Ian Gamble, and at the back in this 29 rider field, Peter Wadsworth. So we shall see how many go through. 29 scheduled to start the race. We have had a bit of attrition. 1 or 2 riders, as we usually see in a long weekend, will start to drop out by the end of the weekend. Perhaps if it's not going their way, they look to park the bike and take an early bath. Thanks, of course, to Rich Energy for their continued support of the championship in 2021. More energy, more information about Rich Energy can be found at the website, richenergy.com. More information about the product and how you can buy Rich Energy online as well. So great to see a high-profile sponsor like Rich Energy involved in the British Minibike Series. Just goes to show that it's really going from strength to strength, this British Minibikes Championship. Been involved on and off with the season with the series for several years, and it really has grown in stature over the years thanks to the hard work of Alan Lord and the team. As the gate drops, and away go the Group B riders. Good start for Stephen Humphries there. Go charging through into the first corner. Simoto's one of the big suppliers in the mini bikes, as there's trouble in the first corner. 2 or 3 riders down, and there's a whole tangle of bodies and bikes in there. Everyone appears to be okay. Medics just having a look. I think there's a rider needs medical attention on the first corner. So rider down on the first corner, medics making their way. The race goes on, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the red flag, and yes indeed the red flag has come out because of that incident on the first corner. 3 riders down on the first corner, and immediately one of those in the tangle signalling that there's 3 riders in trouble. One needs some medical assistance towards the front of the field there. Let's hope they're all right. So red flag is out. This race will be restarted. The riders making their way back to the grid. So let's have a look. That's the 86 in there. I think they all seem okay. So number 7, Mark James Cockfield in there as well. Red flag situation, medics making their way round to the first corner just to double check, but it appears that riders are okay. So the medics make their way down to the first corner. They're all away, and so any suggestion that medical intervention was needed there seemed a bit premature, fortunately. All 3 riders appear to be okay, and there's the ambulance making its way back to the paddock area. Thankfully not required, as we look at our Alpha Live camera crew capturing all the action going into the first corner. Here in the background, it's a bit breezy out there today, and certainly a tough afternoon to be out in all weathers. At least it's dry though, and not as cold as it has been in recent weeks. At the start of the month it was certainly a bit nippy. So red flag situation at the start of this Simoto's Minibike 140 Group B. one of the only first corner incidents we've had during the day. We haven't seen many riders coming to grief on that first corner, but we did see a 3-rider tumble there. Now, I don't know if somebody got stuck under the bike possibly, and initially it was feared needed medical assistance, but fortunately all 3 riders are okay, and it looks like we'll have a look at this again. This very close scrap into the first corner as we wait for the race to restart. Here we see, oh, it was just Chris number 86, just lost the front wheel there, and it's one of these things on a first corner of a race. Sometimes when a rider goes down, nobody else can avoid him really, so that was going down there. Typical first corner incident where the rider goes down and everyone else using him as a carpet. Now, there were a few bikes down there on the first corner. Marshals have gone down to Senna, that second corner. The track car is there, so the riders are okay. But I'm wondering now if the marshals have decided that perhaps we need to do some track work. It looks like there might be a couple of patches of oil on that first corner where the incident occurred. So as we saw a bit earlier on, of course, you had the incident at the S's that required the red flag. We've got to repeat here. All riders are okay. But a bike down on the first corner, the cement going down just to absorb that oil. I would say the riders down here at the grid all could see this happening on the centre corner, so they'll know what's happening. They'll know that there's an oil spill there, just to take that into account. Just looking across down on that first corner, the marshals hard at work, getting the spillage mopped up. The Rich Energy marshals follow the series round across the calendar, so they're all very experienced in the world of motorcycle racing. They'll know the risks and they know how to look after the circuits. And yet again, a problem's occurred. We had this crash on the first corner in Senna, and a tight first corner, a bit of a typical first corner tumble there. Rider goes down, everyone else just toppling over with nowhere to go. Only issue, of course, is a bit of oil on the track. So, I say the marshals very experienced, knowing straight away that we need to halt things just to get that mopped up, keep things safe for the riders when they go back out again. Just a shout out to James Landemore, number 84 in this race from Victoria Landemore. If you're following your riders from home, get in touch and we can give them a shout out on the YouTube channel. So I think we're going for a straight, no, we're going to have a sighting lap again. So here we go, we just get the signal from the starter. Riders going back out on track now for the sighting lap through into Senna. This is where the tangle occurred on the first lap, which brought out the red flag. So as you say, cement has gone down on the first corner, so hopefully that should have contained the oil spill. I think all riders are okay and should be able to join the restart. They were all okay anyway, nobody was injured. That's always the important thing. Round number 2 of the Rich Energy British Minibike Championship. Don't forget, of course, for more information about Rich Energy, go to richenergy.com. More information about Rich Energy, and you can also buy online with home delivery. If you want more information about the rest of the 2021 season here, the Rich Energy British Minibikes, and if you want to get involved, go to britishminibikes.com. And a shout out to our director James Fitchew, who's joining in on the social stream rather than going through the action. Of course, James joking there, of course, doing a very hard job behind the scenes to bring this footage from the camera to your living room. And also shout out, of course, to Naomi Watts, who hopefully is still watching at home as well. Here we go then for the final of Group B, Saimoto Minibike 140 Group B. Thanks, of course, to Saimotos for their continued support of the season. The flag is about to drop. Saimoto, it's online parts retailer for the pit bikes, sponsoring a few riders, of course, the likes of Jim Lovell and Ryan Tyres, 2 of the big names that we'll be seeing in a bit later on in the A final. So this time they go through the Senna corner, and this time it is clean. Everyone away safely. Down they go to 180 for the first time. Of course, this fearsome start to the race, everyone battling for position. They all seem to have got through the first half lap safely. Here they come into Essex for the first time. So it looks like Stephen Humphries may have got the jump on the field. 12 laps to go. They make their way down the Simpson Straight. Real overtaking opportunity for Paddock Bend if you get your run down the straight correct, but Stephen Humphries leads the way. Look out for Tommy Allman though on the 21. Had a good start to the race, battling for second as that looks like Craig Rowland going down on the first lap, number 27, drops out of contention. Rider okay, I think that's down on the exit. As the rider goes down in 180. Just lost a bit of grip on the corner there. I think that's number 84. Let's have a look at that again. Down the inside, just overbalanced almost in the corner. Got a good whack there from Tommy Allman. Rider's okay, getting the bike restarted, but way down the field. So another rider dropping out of contention at the front. This could benefit Stephen Humphries, 2-4-1, the race lead, as he tries to pull away. Trouble then in the battle for second place. So Humphries crosses the line in first place. All change in second now with Paul Mitchell through to second place. Tommy Allman up to third. Lewis Mackay up to fifth position. Ian Blatchford, Elliot Hines, Chris Impey and Mark James Cockfield in ninth position, recovering from that incident so that brought out the stoppage earlier on. Jack Wolf running up the top 10. There is Cockfield having a good battle there. Ahead of Jack Wolf, that was the rider who went down in Senna, of course, in the earlier crash that brought out the red flag earlier on, but they're all okay. Stephen Humphries, your race leader, fastest lap of the race last time around with a 52.679. We'll have a look at the pace of the race as it goes on. We were talking to Derva Lane earlier, giving us a bit of a rider's insight and saying the track was running pretty well. Easy to get a lot of speed even in these slower parts of the track. But good conditions, quite grippy out there for the riders. We've had one or two riders tumbling off, but there's been relatively few riders slipping over during the event and losing grip. That would demonstrate perhaps that it is quite a grippy surface out there, this Redlodge Circuit. More of a technical track compared to some on the calendar, but certainly has given us some great racing today. This more the faster part of the track now as we look at the 0-2. And the number 30, Ian Blatchford in there, Elliot Hines and Jack Wolf just a bit further behind with 9 laps to go through S's. And back now towards the Simpson Straight. And one of the real overtaking parts of the course here. It gets quite quick on this drive down towards Paddock Bend, this dogleg corner. And further down, the riders battling for position. Just on the edge of the top 10, we see the 86 of Chris Impey in there, Rob Overend, Kevin Clark and Alec Jones, all very close indeed. 8 laps to go. Stephen Humphries still your race leader, leading by 3 seconds from Paul Mitchell as Impey goes down the inside. Nice little move there into Senna. Just to overrun into the curb slightly, and that may allow him back through as they go through to 180. Close battle there on the edge of the top 10 as they trade positions. I believe that the Arrive and Ride system starting again this year for 2021. It's very popular. A few years ago we had the hire bikes out in these pit bike classes, so anybody who wants to get involved, pretty much all you need is your own helmet and leathers and a safety kit. Apart from that, you just turn up and have a go in the series. Fully race prepared bike. More information at britishminibikes.com. Or get on the telephone, speak to Alan Lord, the series promoter, and he'll put you in the right direction if you want to come along and just sample the racing. Anyone really, all you need really is your own helmet and leathers. That's all you need, and you can get involved. If you're an experienced motorcyclist and you want to have a go at mini bike racing, that's how you get in touch with the British Minibike Series. Speak to Alan Lord, and who knows, you yourself could be on Alpha Live as the season goes on, as we watch this entertaining battle on the edge of the top 10. Ian Clark scrapping away for position. Of course, quite a lot of riders in the world of mini bike racing come across from motorcycle racing. They prefer the slower speed, you would say, of the smaller tracks. Certainly the vets class has been very popular in recent years as well, with riders over the age of 40 looking to get involved. It's of course, the vets is an age-related class, so they can also double enter. There's nothing stopping them if their machine is eligible to compete in other race classes. So certainly does seem to be going from strength to strength. this, our penultimate race of the day. It's the Motos Minibike 140 Group B. Paul Mitchell, one of those very distinctive Valentino Rossi helmets. We just saw him duck his head down the straight there, the straight run. There you see, you can't miss that, can you? I remember that one with AGV, of course, Valentino Rossi's long-time sponsors. If you're not seeing this helmet design that Rossi had before, he's got a very surprised exclamation on his face, painted on the top of the helmet. So when the rider's ducking down, basically down the straight, it looks like he's staring you down. You watch Paul Mitchell, there he is. Coming under some pressure now from Lewis Mackay, who's been picking his way through the field. Into the Warren they go, down the straight once again. There he is, there they are. They can see Valentino Rossi looking back at us down the straight. 21, Tommy Ullman starting to close up now. So Stephen Humphries is pulling away now. The gap goes up to 5.4 seconds as the battle's second through to fourth place. Battling away through the S's, back down towards as they go. And there we see Paul Mitchell, aka Valentino Rossi, judging by the helmet there, in towards the final few corners. And Mitchell doing a great job. He's set his fastest lap of the race, 52.186. Lewis Mackay a little bit further behind with the outright lap record in this race, 51.5. But at the moment, can't find a way through. Mackay up to third. Can't get past Paul Mitchell, the 6.68 in second place. Ullman just a bit further behind. And there we see again Mitchell with his very distinctive Valentino Rossi helmet. And you can't miss that in a crowd, can you really? You'd say AGV, of course, the sponsors of Rossi, done very well on the replica helmet market. For many years, of course, the various Rossi helmets out there, of course, and you'll look out for the striped helmets, the replica Guy Martin helmets out there as well, long-time sponsors of Guy Martin as well. So, plenty of the AGVs out there. Humphries leads the way. The gap goes up to 6.4 seconds as we concentrate on this battle of the second. Paul Mitchell holding on to second place as he goes through 180, back on the power. Seems quick out of 180, I have to say. Just seems to pull a bit of a gap and just enough to pull away from Lewis Mackay in third. Mackay not quite close enough to go for the pass as they make their way through into Essex. Out of the S as he goes, Mackay gingerly on the throttle, gets it nice and smooth as Mitchell pulls away. Stephen Humphries, meanwhile, has just crossed the line with 2 laps to go. Got the race wrapped up at the moment. He's just got to take his time getting through some of the tail enders as we concentrate on Mitchell in second, trying to pull away from Lewis Mackay in third and Tommy Ullman in fourth. A bit further down into the top 10, Ian Blatchford in sixth, Elliot Hines, Jack Wolf in eighth, Mark James Cockfield in ninth, and Chris Impey rounding out the top 10. As Lewis Mackay again closing up on Paul Mitchell in second. They're closing up on some back markers though. There's the 100 Kai Dickinson also in there as well. Mitchell goes down the inside, makes Mackay go wide. Now, of course, Humphries has already been through, so these guys will know that leaders are making their way through. Mitchell looking down the track, though, taking to the inside of the number 100. Makes the move stick, but Mackay is right on the rear wheel as Humphries crosses the line to go on to the last lap. Stephen Humphries all on his own at the front. There he is, going through Senna for the final time. And speaking of AGV, he's got one of the Guy Martin helmets on. They do seem a popular choice with a lot of the clubman riders. Mitchell in second place. Oh, he's going to be bumped ever so slightly here by David Linsdell, currently in 18th place. Linsdell will most likely concede the line coming out of the corner, but there is Humphries, the race leader, has a look over his shoulder, can see that he's got a decent gap, and knows now all he's got to do is just get through the S's in one piece, control the bike, not do anything rash here, and just bring it home, because he's got a decent cushion. 5.8 seconds last time around. Again, he looks over the shoulder, and nice and easy there. He's eased off now through the paddock bend for the final time. And Stephen Humphries will take the checkered flag in the 140 Group B. Oh, but it's going to be close for second here. Mitchell in second, Mackay in third, both by the back marker on the final corner. This could be the difference. No, it's not, though. Mitchell goes through in second, Mackay third, And just behind was Tommy Almond in 4th place.